So hi guys, this is a little bit of a relatively long video, so if you just want to see the photos, just fast forward and to 11 minutes 48 seconds, and that's where they start. So all shot with the Sony a7r3. I used a 135 Sigma Art Series lens, and also the rx10iv from Sony for some high-speed slow motion video and some other stuff. So basically we met up. So it's Kieran, my friend, he's a fitness instructor, and Charlene, she's our model for the day. She's done a lot of fitness work and things like that, and some competitions and things. She's fabulous, also obviously lovely looking. So we met up and we found this castle sort of tower after a very long climb. I think it was about 250-300 feet up this very steep embankment. We found it, and there you can see it was obviously a lookout tower of some sort a long time ago. I imagine the trees weren't there in the surrounding area back in those days, but we thought, what a fabulous location, and we started off doing some sort of fitnessy style video clips and things like that. So we just wanted to just have a little bit warm up. Unfortunately, even though it looks lovely, the weather was very cold. Not for me, because I never really get cold, but for the other two, they were struggling a little bit, and but they persevered. So you can see we did some warm up style clips. This is for Kieran just to use for his. He's got a Facebook page and also a fitness group. It's called FBI, and I'll put a link below. And if you're in East Sussex, he does a one-on-one fitness training and obviously group ones as well every week. Charlene, she does quite a bit of modelling, everything from advertising to fitness stuff and things like that, and I'll post her Instagram as well below, so you can have a look. We just did stretches, we did other things like that. I think they were doing lunges and sprinting and other things like that. So there's a few little clips here that I shot with the rx10iv, and they're just clips, just interest clips really. There's Charlene having a quick jog with the GoPro Hero 7 Black just to see how smooth it was, and here's a little bit of a ghosting style sprint past between them both. And then there was push-ups, and Kieran doing a push-up style seal impression or something. I'm not really sure exactly what that was. And then we got the rope out. That was beast. That was a real beast of a rope. Charlene doing it there. It's very heavy, and even I have a go in a minute, you'll see, and you can have a bit of a laugh because I was messing around and actually was quite surprised. I could do it quite well, but it is quite knackering. It looks it's a lot more knackering than you think it is going to be. So yeah, Kieran does a lot of fitness stuff. He's pretty much in the gym most days, but also doing his fitness classes and things as well. So worked really well. The fact that we had autumn leaves and the colours and everything made it really quite nice. And this is from the Hero 7 GoPro, the Black Series, just in between the rope, which gives you quite a good view sort of between and how we were doing things. And it worked really quite well for the view, and it gives you sort of a real sort of feel of being involved in the actual sort of fitness session there. We are going to do some more, so there will be some more video clips and things to come. That's me just showing them both what I managed to capture. So I was shooting a couple of slow motion clips, 500 frames per second, 250 frames per second. Unfortunately, we didn't have much time, and so a couple of hours. But during this time of year, the sun is going very quickly, and sunset wasn't very far away from when we were doing this. So we had to work very quickly, but where the castle tower was a good half-an-hour walk too, so obviously we spent quite a bit of time actually walking, getting there. Here's me having a bit of a mess around with the rope, trying my hardest to sort of work out on how to do it properly. But yeah, but I mean, it was alright. It was I'd say a little bit harder. There's me being silly and having a bit of a laugh, but that's the way you got to be, isn't it? You know, just have a laugh. But it's quite fun. Quite enjoyed it actually, but a lot harder than you imagine. After a few seconds, you start to realise actually there's a lot of energy involved there and a lot of strength needed, but also obviously technique as well. And I was probably not doing it quite right. I definitely needed to stand with a better stance, and my legs needed to be further apart. I know that. And then yeah, the inevitable happened, and I smashed the GoPro over. It wasn't damaged. Here's a 250 frames per second shot there of the rope being flicked by Charlene there, which worked quite well. But we were struggling with light by now, and I didn't do too many of these because just of lack of light, really. And at that frame rate, you don't really want to turn the ISO up too much because you start getting a lot of grain. But it just shows you how the rope's moving and things like that, which is, yeah, it's quite cool. The concentration on people's faces as well is always quite you know, quite interesting. So we're doing some lifts here, and so that worked well. Slow motion here of Kieran lobbing the weight around, which is quite cool. And this was the last shot of the day, actually, just because it was, even though it looks like there's quite a lot of light behind us, where we were there wasn't. So suits you. He's got Kieran's lovely pink bag. It's lovely. Johnny's got a pink bag to match as well. That really suits you.
Oh yeah.
Bye bye, Castle. Thanks for being in it. As you can see there, Kieran carrying the pink bag there, sort of suited him, I guess. It's quite funny, but yeah. Anyway, so we then after we'd done that, we did sort of moved from fitness into more sort of out with nature and the sort of modelling style shots. Which having Kieran there was quite helpful because he was holding the flash for me. Obviously filming a little bit behind the scenes like this with the GoPro, which worked quite nicely. The weather was, I mean, it was lovely, but it was relatively windy, and for me, like I say, it didn't really bother me at all because I'm used to it. Also having a wind stopper jacket on makes a massive difference. But Charlene, she braved it. She wasn't all that well either, so I'm really glad she pushed herself, and we got some really quite nice shots. Just simple sort of beauty shots, out with nature, nice clothing, and it just worked really quite nicely. This outfit here kind of reminded me of a bit of a French style sort of shot there, especially with the hat on and everything she had. The photos are right at the end, so you can see at the end as I sort of progress through the shoot there, you know, what we did and how the shots were taken. This shot here, we just basically moved into the woodland away from the castle sort of tower, not very far at all from there. Okay. And then there's this beautiful walkway which we made the most of, and the leaves were so dry that we could throw some up in the air there, which was quite cool. Then decided to shoot straight into the sun. Normally I would take the Rotolite EOS with me, but because we actually didn't we didn't realise we were going to be so sort of late in the day originally, but that's what it ended up being. I just had a flash gun with me, so a diffused flash gun, so it wasn't just punching the light, it was heavily diffused. Kieran carrying it for me, and he's aiming it and, you know, basically instructing what to do here. Shoot straight into the sun, and utilising the power of the Sony HVLF60 flash gun there. Quite happily it's on quarter power, didn't need to be on full power at all, even though we're shooting straight into the sun. Just the backlight, to counteract the backlighting from the sun there. But the sort of colour coming through the leaves, where the leaves were backlit, and the colours just there were stunning. So really complimented Charlene there with her outfit on, and she had a scarf and everything on, so it really sort of, it looked autumn-like. So that was really cool. The only issue here was the shooting straight into the sun. I think this would happen with most cameras. It was struggling to autofocus, and even I autofocus, so I ended up actually manual focusing onto her eye, zooming in. This shot here, Charlene basically swapping over clothing, and we had to walk back down that really steep hill, so she was going back to normal shoes, but she also wanted her leggings back on because it was actually she was getting quite cold. I'd already given her my jacket.
Is that a sock? No, it's not.
No.
That's what I thought.
There should be another white sock in there somewhere.
There. Is that a sock?
Yeah.
You need to buy some thicker socks. That's like a tissue.
Is it? Stop it.
Sorry.
Tissue.
Do you want a hand? You're alright.
So behind the scenes, this is us being a bit silly, but that's the best way in photo shoots, just have a laugh, and it keeps everyone going, even when it is a bit cold. So, you know, that was it was a good shoot. Unfortunately, the time flew, and a lot of it was to do with the distance we had to walk, because there was no roads up to where we had to be, and to get where we needed to be, we either had to go up the very steep hill, which is a couple hundred feet plus high and very, very steep. It doesn't look all that steep here, but it was actually quite difficult to actually stand up properly, yeah, so we had to walk all the way back down. But it was basically, if we didn't do that, we'd probably had another 20 minutes walk along the footpaths that actually eventually wind up to the top where we wanted to be. So turned out the grounds, everything where we were, absolutely beautiful, as you can see here. But it was just, stunning day, just a bit cold. And obviously November, the lights, or even October, or the end of October into November, the light is moving very quickly. The sun's soon behind a tree, and that's it. You sort of lost the light. So we were working very, very quickly. But also due to Charlie not being all that well, she was suffering from a nasty cold. But everyone seems to have those at the moment, and also didn't want to make her any more ill due to getting cold. So that's why she's got a dressing gown on, keeping all cosy. But they had to climb under a massive tree that had fallen over and sort of blocked our way, so that was interesting. And then jumped down, I think it was about 6 or 8 feet that was. But it was a crazy place, absolutely amazing place. It's actually behind Lewes Castle, so if you find Lewes Castle on Google Maps and actually have a look at the grounds and go from behind, there's a lake and everything there, and you can actually go and visit. It's a really, really cool place to actually go and have a look at. And there's that castle tower right at the top of the hill. Like I say, it's a bit of a walk, but a few of the trees have fallen down. They've obviously rotted or whatever, or been struck by lightning, or the woodpeckers have had a go. So yeah, here's a few photos. So this is the actual tower that I'd spotted ages and ages ago, and I thought I really want to go there. But Charlene lives in Portsmouth, and I live in East Sussex, so we kind of met halfway. And here's some of the fitness shots. So didn't actually take all that many because I was videoing most of the time, but did a few, and it's they all turned out really, really quite well. So quite pleased with that. And obviously utilising the sort of autumn leaves there with the rope flicking up the leaves into the air. These are shot with the rx10. These two shots at about 600mm at f4. This shot here was actually the 135 on the a7r3. But stopped down to about f2.8 or thereabouts, with the flash firing just off camera there. I say the light was sort of going. This was early on, so we had plenty of sunshine here, and you can see the spikes on those doors there. So they meant to be meant business, but people weren't going to get in there to that tower. So Charlene looking lovely there, and the light was so soft. It was lovely. It worked really, really nicely. All these shots are straight out of the camera, barring the black and white conversions. So as was sort of thing. And the blue sky was really that blue. It was absolutely gorgeous that day. Another shot here. We're wide open at f1.8 here with the 135 on the a7r3, and basically we just rattled through the shots as quickly as we could. Just because it was getting cold, and the wind was quite windy, especially up on the top by the tower. In the woodland there, it wasn't so bad. This shot here, so Kiernan's to the left there, throwing the leaves past, just sort of had the sort of windy look and the cosy feel. I had to do quite a few shots here just to make sure the leaves weren't in front of Charlene's eyes. As you can see there, it worked quite nicely. And yeah, I mean, probably took 20 or 30 shots a couple of times just to sort of make sure we got the shot. Flash gun firing each time. This shot was just walking in the woods, and really quite like it. It's just a simple shot, say straight out of the camera. F1.8, 135mm, the Art Series lens on the a7r3. Colouring and everything not touched. Sharpness not touched. This one here with the flash. Lighting her from this side and the sunshine coming through the trees behind, and backlighting her, I think it was a poncho you call it, the light coming through it, which looked quite cool. It was a little bit of a struggle. She felt a little bit under the weather, so we sort of pushed on as quickly as we could, but it's never easy, especially if you feel a little bit unwell. Everyone seems to have colds at the moment. I think it's just that time of year. but still, look, we've still got a fabulous few shots here, so I'm really pleased with what we got. This shot here, shooting straight through into the sun. Again, flash gun firing and lighting her up there. And that shot f1.8 and about 1/4000th of a second, so high speed sync involved there. But the colouring and everything was awesome. I was shooting straight through a load of bushes as well to add a sort of softness to it. This shot here, as you remember earlier, McKinnon basically filming from the side and with the GoPro, just a long line of trees and almost like a footpath that ran along. So that worked quite well, and a little bit of wind there, blowing the scarf. Charlene just sort of leaning back and just put her hand through her hair. Simple shot, but looks really nice. This is one that kind of makes me feel like it's in France. It's just sort of a French kind of style look. I'm probably quite completely wrong, but that's what came to mind. So the scarf wrapped around her, sort of little dress on, and the little hat, and she's got hardly any makeup on. She's a lovely sort of natural look, which I really like, especially if you're out in the woodland there. And it sort of helps complement everything, which is really nice. So anyway guys, that's just a quick video of what we did. So any questions, please ask, please subscribe, please click the notification bell.